Hey everybody, welcome to our Matador Global Travel Pack review. If you don't know, here at Nomads Nation, we've been reviewing travel and EDC gear for the last 7 years. In this video, I'm gonna show you everything you need to know about the Matador Global Travel Pack. In this video, I'm gonna pack it out, check its advertised capacity, and give you my brutally honest pros and cons about actually using the bag. And you're gonna wanna stick around to the end of the video because I'm gonna give you 2 alternative suggestions in case you're not really feeling the Matador Global Travel Pack. So now let me give you a quick overview on the Matador Global Travel Pack 35 liter. I just used this bag actually on a trip to Tokyo. I went last weekend for 3.5 days and I used it as my 1 bag travel pack. So when I first got this thing, Aaron gave it to me like last week before the trip. My first impression was honestly, wow, this thing is big. Okay, so I mean, it's not that it's just like big. I expect big with a travel bag, right? But it's just very tall compared to other travel bags I've used in the past. As you may have known, I have said this before, I have an Air TP3 that I've been using for years. Not the biggest fan of it anymore, to be honest, so this was actually kind of a nice upgrade. And I did actually enjoy using the bag throughout the trip. So I do have some good positives to say about this bag. All right, now let's talk about some of the top features of the bag. If you're familiar with Matador, you might remember their previous travel backpack had this big kangaroo pocket in the front. On this new one, they've seemed to have gone in a different direction and started using the bungee cords. So I didn't use these too often, but I did win a couple plushies in the crane games over in Tokyo, and I did stuff them in here and they worked perfectly. Okay. Some other things you might notice is they have a much larger admin panel here. So this is pretty convenient and I did use this quite a lot throughout the trip. It's got 2 fantastic water bottle pockets that I used again throughout the whole trip. And one other new feature they added in this travel bag was a type of like luggage storage system that you typically see in suitcases. So another bag I know that has this is the Bellroy travel bag. But yeah, I do think this is a welcome addition for a travel backpack. One other thing they include is a hip belt. So this one was also, I am sure a lot of people would like. I'm not a hip belt person, but I could see people using it. You'll also notice the bag has a ton of handles. So we've got 2 up here, another one here, another one here. And it does have actually one feature that I absolutely love, the ability to actually stow away the harness system. So you can actually unclip both of these and store them away up here very nicely. So you can actually use the side handles without the straps dangling all over the place. All right, now let's quickly test out the volume on the Matador Global Travel Pack. Now that we got the bag fully packed out, let's quick check the dimensions on the bag. So looking at it here, it's coming in at around 13 inches in width. So looking at it here, it's coming in at around 20 inches in length. And looking at the depth of the bag, it's coming in at around, I would say 7 to 7.5 inches. And since we have the bag fully packed out, we might as well test if it would fit as a standard personal item on most major airlines. I think just looking at these 2, you can probably tell that this is probably not gonna fit, but we can try. Yeah, that's a no. However, I will be honest that I actually got lucky and I did bring this as my personal item to Tokyo. I think I got very lucky and they didn't check me, but yeah, I don't think most airlines would accept this as a personal item. Now let's do the volume test. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna attempt to not spill these balls everywhere. I didn't even know that was...
I gotta send out for a picture.
Oh my God. I can't imagine what the look on my face just was.
Well, looks like we're gonna have to reinforce that bottom a little stronger.
What do we do about this?
We'll be back in a few minutes.
All right, so while we were doing the volume test, I managed to fill up to about the 30 liter line here, which you can see in some of the footage, but as I was picking it back up to put it on the table, our entire thing used for measuring volume broke. So we just spent the last 10 minutes picking up all those little balls, and yeah, came in at around 30 liters. I did not fully pack out the laptop pocket or the water bottle pockets, and honestly, I do feel like you could squeeze more in there. Because the bag is pretty malleable. So I do think 35 liters is probably a pretty accurate assessment from Matador. As a funny aside, my friends all call me Tornado Tony, so this is very on brand for this to happen to me. All right, so now we're gonna test the weight of the bag. So Matador claims the bag comes in at 3.1 pounds. So it looks like it came in at around 3.65, which is significantly higher than what Matador claimed, but I'll be honest, it didn't feel that heavy to me. So the bag comes in 3 different colorways. It comes in black, garnet, and juniper, which if you don't know is a type of green. So this is what the bag looks like flat, and this is what it looks like packed out on the Nomads Nation team. For reference, I'm 5'10", and Jason Bagmoa is 6'2". Matador backs up all their products with a 3-year warranty. And to be honest, for pricing, we're actually not sure yet what this bag is actually gonna come in at, because this is a pre-launch sample that we were given in advance. But judging by the price of their previous travel backpack, the Globe Rider, which comes in at around 300 USD, we can expect it to be somewhere around that price. If you guys are like me and you're a cheapskate and you're always looking for the best deal, I highly recommend you check the link in the description because we usually get the best price and we often have discount codes. Now let's talk about the materials of the Matador Global Travel Pack. The bag is made out of 420D recycled nylon, which does have a nice feel to it, and it gives some malleability to the bag. It's not too stiff, and you do feel like it can expand to accommodate a bit of a bigger load. So maybe you can even go beyond that 35 liter that they claim. So now let's look at the hardware on the bag. So first we have branded hardware pretty much all throughout the bag. So the exterior zippers are PU coated, which again, I'm not the biggest fan of, but they actually worked pretty well on this bag. The zippers on the outside are Duraglide and the internal zippers are YKK. And for the back, the buckles, we can see that they are Woojin branded buckles. So all pretty premium hardware throughout the bag. We also got a nice hip belt that I didn't use because I do consider them a bit dorky and I'm never carrying enough to feel justified using one. So as soon as I got this bag, I ripped that thing right off. And one other great feature, of course, that a lot of travel bags now are including is the load lifters. And these were great to use throughout the trip as well. For the internal lining, it's pretty smooth, it looks nice, it feels relatively premium. This mesh, I'm not gonna lie, doesn't feel like the most premium mesh out there. It's a bit scratchy and it's a bit tough, but I guess that's also a good thing because it gives more durability, right? Because you don't want a very soft mesh here because that's gonna rip if you really stuff this thing, right? And one great thing I would also say about the bag were the water bottle pockets. The fabric here was fantastic. It's very stretchy, very malleable, and these pockets are big. Like I can get my whole arm in there, right? So basically, I used these things throughout the entire trip. I had an umbrella on one side and a Pocari sweat or some kind of water bottle on the other side for the entire trip. Honestly, very impressed with the water bottle pockets. On the material side, I do think, I like it, but doesn't really dazzle me. So I would give it a solid 4 out of 5 because it does meet all the requirements I need, but it didn't make me feel ecstatic. And also just to remind you that all these scores are personal. I just took this bag on a trip, so this is just my personal opinion. None of this is fact or set in stone. All right, now let's get into the Packout, the Matador Global Travel Pack. So this is gonna be pretty similar to what I actually packed on this Japan trip. I don't have every single thing I brought with me here today, but we're pretty close, okay? So basically just like this, I had 3 packing cubes that I brought with me. So I love packing cubes, so I just like the organization. I personally hate having to dig through and find out where my underwear is, where my t-shirts are. If I have packing cubes, I know exactly where everything is. Okay, so I basically did it just like this, 2 vertical ones and 1 big one at the bottom. And then I actually stuck my neck pillow straight in there as well. So gave it a little bit of a bulgy look, but it worked, right? So I was able to completely seal this with no issues. I also managed to stuff my Steam Deck in there, which somehow also worked. And I know Aaron also uses a Switch case all the time in his packouts, but I think every self-respecting man should move on to a Steam Deck from the Switch, okay? And then I used all these pockets for my little knickknacks. So I am a man who always has heartburn, so I've made sure to always have a giant bottle of Tums with me. And I'm also a 35-year-old man who still uses Old Spice deodorant, don't judge me. Had my magnetic power bank, my nano bag for any little shopping trips in Japan, my Insta360, which I took a lot of the B-roll for this video on, and my earbuds. I did not travel with my over-ear ones on this trip. I should have, honestly. And that was pretty much it. So on the front side of the bag, I'm not gonna lie, I did not make full use of this. I did pack some things here, but not as neatly as I probably would show on video. I had a bunch of just wires stuffed in here just for charging purposes. I didn't bring that today, so instead I'll show you I packed a travel adapter because of the Hong Kong and Japanese plug is not the same. So we use this chunky 3-leg one, and Japan uses the normal one that you guys are probably used to in the US. So I had a bunch of those and converters. I had my e-reader out here as well, and a book. Okay. Oh, and also one more thing. I also had a nice little eye drop bottle that I kept in the zipper pocket here. Because I don't know about you guys, but I get some very dry eyes when I'm on airplanes. And one thing I had with me throughout the entire trip, because it's summer in Japan and that is notoriously the rainy season, I made sure to bring an umbrella pretty much everywhere I went for the entire trip. And that slotted in there perfectly with no issue. So this was a 3.5-day trip. It was over a weekend. I did not need to bring my laptop for this trip. So I did not use the laptop pocket, but we'll still test it out for you here to see today. All right, so Matador claims that this laptop pocket can hold any size laptop. So we're just gonna try the biggest one we have and see if it fits, and then we'll have our answer. So we got our monstrous 17-inch Asus laptop here to test. And you can see, goes in there without really any issues. You'll also notice that there's a tablet pocket in here as well, which Matador claims can fit a 13-inch tablet, which you'll see it does. Beautiful. And we can close it up without any issues. With the bag fully packed out, let's see if this thing can self-stand. I think you'll probably realize it does not. So, oh, did okay there, but if I give it a nice little, it's gone. And now let's test the water bottle pocket to see if it can fit our 1-liter Yeti here. All right, so it's gonna be a tight squeeze because the backpack is fully packed out, but you can see that went in with relatively no fuss. It's a tight fit, but it works and it keeps your bottle pretty tight. It's not gonna fall right out. All right, now let's talk about the overall comfort of the bag. So I did have this thing on my back for hours at a time in my Japan trip, and I have to say, overall it was pretty comfortable. You have some nice straps here. They're pretty thick, they're nice and plush. They're probably not the most premium ones in the world, but they got the job done and were not painful at all. You also had the hip belt here. Like I said, I didn't use it, but I do think this would definitely add some additional comfort if you don't mind looking a little dorkier. The back panel gave some very good ventilation. If you don't know, Japan is like basically hell in the summer. It's like 1,000,000,000 degrees, super humid, raining all the time. And this ventilation did help a lot. I will say it was not like a bag that really felt like it ran hot. Okay, the load lifters up here also were a big help. They do help to just keep the bag more flush against your back, kind of raises the center of gravity so you don't feel it as much in your lower back. And I did use these extensively throughout the trip. Like I adjusted them probably several times throughout the trip and they worked very well. And the sternum strap, again, I also did use quite a lot because again, it just helps distribute the weight a little bit more. And I did use it like I think almost every time I had the bag on throughout the trip. Generally, I can't feel the laptop on my back. You see I got everything buckled up here, the hip belt, sternum strap, and yeah, it's got a lot of stuff in it. It's not light, but I can feel like this is manageable. And at one point on my trip, I do remember I bought probably like, I don't know, 30 pounds worth of vinyl records that I actually fit in this backpack. And I literally felt like I was carrying so much weight on my back, I felt like the pavement was cracking with every step I took. But it did the job, right? I didn't feel like this bag was holding me back. It was just the fact that I was holding 30 pounds of freaking vinyl. And the load lifters definitely help because they keep things just much more flush against your back. Like you don't feel like it's pulling you backwards at all, right? It just feels like it's part of you. It's not really like something that you're carrying on your back. It's just part of your, like a natural extension of your body. Okay, one other thing to talk about though, unfortunately, is dangle, right? So I did wish that these shoulder straps, for example, had dangle stoppers on them because these were kind of just flying around the whole time when I was using the bag. Luckily, I didn't have the hip belt, so there was no dangle from this, but even these also don't have dangle stoppers, right? Luckily, I'm a fat man, so I have to use most of the slack on these, but if you're a skinny person, these are gonna dangle. On the comfort score, I will say, like, I did like it. It's a comfortable bag, but I will say it's not my favorite, like, still. It's just because it's a very tall bag, so it just does feel like it takes up your entire back. So it's fine, like, honestly, because I only really wore this probably one day in Japan and in transit, right? So I wasn't using this as my day pack, for example. Like, I would say the comfort was good, but I know there's more comfortable travel bags out there. So like, for example, like the Rework Outbound is gonna be a 5 out of 5 for me on comfort. This is probably, I would give it a 4 out of 5. It's very close, but it's just not there yet. All right, so real quick though, we're gonna have Aaron test out the bag just because, like I said, he's a shorter guy and we can see what it looks like on him.
Vertically challenged is the term I prefer. All right, so this is
sternum strap, everything, hip belt,
gotta happen.
get it all.
All right, so everybody out there, I'm 5'8".
So he's actually only 2 inches shorter than me, my bad.
Wow. This is a low lifters, let's lock these into place. Yeah, honestly, this feels pretty solid.
Heavy though, right?
Yeah, it's heavy, but that's how you get to test out the comfort, right? So this is fully packed out. The shoulder straps, they feel good. They're not quite as squishy or well padded
as
like
I mean the Outbound.
As the Outbound, yeah. They're still comfy though, don't get me wrong. Hip belt is coming a little high, which is weird because it's a taller bag, so I thought it would have been a little bit lower.
I thought it would have been lower too.
Belly buttons here, hip belts there.
I had to move my belly out of the way to put it on.
Thanks, 2 of us. Let's give the load lifters a shot real fast. I wouldn't say they're the best load lifters, but they help.
They work.
Yeah, they definitely they're bringing it forward a bit.
I can see the difference, right? Like when you did it. Like,
is it clear to say the difference? Because
because it looks really short.
Yeah. So I'd say, like, from a load lifter perspective, these are mid to good, not like excellent. Again, Rework I think wins in that department. Tortuga, but more or less, yeah. Actually, it's a cozy bag. It feels snug. So yeah, for anybody who's 5'8" in that range.
Yeah, actually, it doesn't look as big on you as I thought it would.
No?
Yeah, actually, I think it's fine.
It's 'cause I've been going to
I
the
think
gym.
for some reason it looks bigger on me than it does on you.
That doesn't make any sense.
It does make no sense.
Overall comfort score though for me, good.
Okay. Now let's talk about the functionality of the Matador Global Travel Pack. So I really like the fact that you could disconnect each of the straps here and here, and you can stow them away up here. It's not the easiest process in the world, but it works, right? And that way I can actually hold the bag, assuming the hip belt is not there, without any dangle, and it's actually almost like a briefcase. Also, the hip belt is completely removable. We left it on for this video, but like I said, as soon as Aaron gave me this bag, I took that off immediately. Okay, I would say the handles all feel pretty premium. They're nice materials, they're soft, they're plushy. Actually, I like what they did here with this handle in particular, because a lot of the times these side handles interfere with the water bottle pocket. I think Matador realized how important the water bottle pockets are and they didn't want to mess with that, so they put it a little bit to the front of the bag. I thought that was weird at first, but it works fine, right? Like, I actually did stow the straps away at one point and I did carry it from this handle and it did work fine. There's also weirdly 3 handles on the top, so you can kind of like juggle it a bit between different handles, like, I guess, I don't know, yeah. So kind of fun. I don't know if you need that, but it's kind of nice. Can't hurt to have. Surprisingly, there's not a ton of latch points on this bag. You have a few up here, right? Here's one, here's another one, here's another one, but they're all mostly at the top of the bag, right? There's nothing really on the bottom in terms of latch points or on the other side, so not a lot there. So if you are somebody who likes to clip things on your bag, this might not be the perfect bag for you, even though there is some places to do it. The water bottle pockets, again, were fantastic. I do think they were like maybe some of the best I've actually ever used. So if carrying water around is like a very important thing for you, maybe this is a good choice for you. And finally, we got this bungee system in the front here. I personally did not use this, except for like a few times, like I said, I was playing crane games and I won some plushies and I just stuffed them in there at one point. And that was more for fun than to actually carry them or anything. And yeah, but I could see it being useful for some people, right? If you want to throw a hoodie in there, that's perfectly fine. But I actually do feel like I was a bigger fan of the kind of kangaroo pocket that they had on the previous version of this bag. And I'm a little sad that they replaced it with this, to be honest. So like I said, on this trip, I didn't bring a laptop, so I didn't really get to fully experience the laptop pocket and the like tech pouch. but I can test it here, right? We saw that the laptop fits in there well. So there is a little bit of a false bottom down here. So the laptop comes to about there, I would say. So it's not a huge one, but it should prevent the laptop from really hitting the floor when you drop the bag. So let's do a quick test here. If we hear like a sharp knock, then we know that it's not really working. So here we go, 3, 2, 1. That was a dull thud. I would think that's pretty protective for your laptop. And now let's test out the luggage pass-through, which every travel bag realistically should have. Again, like I said, I one bag traveled, so I wasn't using a luggage. So I didn't actually get to use this luggage pass-through. So the bag does actually have a quite nice luggage pass-through. It feels very tough, strong, and like made of premium material. And I also just really like that it's not super tight. Like I really hate when some of these bags have like a super tight luggage pass-through and I have to like literally fight with the bag to try and get it onto my luggage. But you can see this one, very easy. If the hip belt doesn't get in the way, slides right on, right? It is a massive bag, so I don't think you'd probably want to put it on a tiny carry-on, but luggage pass-through works pretty well. I actually do feel really good about the overall functionality of this bag. I'm not gonna give it a perfect score because I did prefer, like I said, I did prefer that kangaroo pocket instead of these bungee cords, but everything else, like the water bottle pockets, being able to stow the straps away and actually use it as a briefcase, the luggage pass-through is perfect in my eyes. Honestly, there's not a lot to complain about here. Right, so I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5. All right, so if you guys are a bunch of bag nerds as well, like the rest of us here at the Nomads Nation, then I highly recommend you subscribe to the Nomads Nation newsletter. You can find it at the second link in the description next to the little globe emoji, and we'll be in your inbox every week with the latest bag drops, discount codes, and everything else you can imagine in the world of bags. So if you're interested, highly recommend you sign up there. So now let's talk about my overall score of the Matador Global Travel Pack. So now let's talk about the overall value of the bag. So like I said, we don't have a firm price point for this because again, it is a pre-launch product. So we got a sample early, luckily because Matador likes us here at Nomads Nation. So we're assuming this will come in at a similar price to what their previous versions of travel backpacks came in at, which was around 300 USD. So realistically, most travel backpacks in the premium bag category are coming in at around that price. Like there's definitely cheaper ones out there, but like for example, my Air TP3 is also like 300 USD, right? So yeah. And so realistically, for 300 USD, I actually do think you get very good value with this bag. I can imagine this being like your one bag travel bag, and for 300 bucks, that's okay to spend for me. Like I said, I'm a cheapskate, but I will pay for stuff that actually fulfills the role well, right? So at first, that's what I thought the TP3 did for me, but realistically, I would much rather have this than the TP3 today. Out of 5, if I had to give it a score on value, I would actually go with 4.5. I'm not gonna give them a 4. I think 4.5 is deserved. Like, it's not like the best value on earth, but it's like, I fully understand why the bag is priced this way. So let's do a quick recap of all the scores I gave throughout this video. First was materials, I gave them a 4. Comfort, I gave them a 4. Functionality, 4.5. And value, also at 4.5. So total, I give this bag a 4.25 on average. So realistically, I did enjoy traveling with this bag. Like going to Japan on a weekend trip, that was like the perfect use case for this bag. It was able to fit everything. I never had to like fight with this bag. It was just smooth. Overall, it meets every need that you have in a travel bag. I think a couple things, of course, could always be improved. Also, just for reference, if you guys don't know me, I am a massive hater. I hate everything. So, so I'm never, ever gonna give a perfect score. I'm sorry. Unless the bag literally like, I don't know, brings me to Nirvana or something. Anyway, I think the Matador Global Travel Pack is a solid option if you're looking for a larger size, one bag travel, big travel backpack. Realistically, there's other options out there, but I would say this is a top contender in the current market. All right, now it's time for my honest pros and cons with the bag. Pro number 1, water bottle pockets. Like I said, love them. The material is amazing. They are very big, very beefy. I think you would struggle to find a water bottle that cannot fit in these pockets. Pro number 2, like I said, I really love the idea of being able to stow the straps away. Like, it's just something you really should expect to see on more bags, and it's amazing how few actually give you this feature. Another one, of course, like I said, the luggage pass-through, like this just was perfect to me. I didn't actually use it that often, like on the trip, but it's just, the fact that I could just slide it on without any issue is great. On the cons, on the negative side, so I will say the bungee cord system, again, not a huge fan, right? Like, I tend to think of it more as a gimmick than as like a real feature. But realistically, I'm not like an outdoorsy person. Maybe some of you trail runners and people like that would find more use out of this than me. Okay, one of my other cons was that this top pocket here. So I did use it frequently for things like sunglasses, my passport and stuff like that. But the weird thing to me was that this pocket inside the bag has an internal access point, right? So you can go grab your passport out of here. I just don't see any situation where I just wouldn't go like this and open the other zipper, right? So I actually feel like this is almost kind of wasted potential. This could have been a third additional pocket, but instead I just have one pocket I can access from both sides. Okay, and my third con, which might not be a problem for a lot of people, but definitely will be a problem for you shorter people, is that the bag is just generally very tall. So like I did feel like it took up like my entire back when I was wearing this thing, which not a lot of backpacks do that to me. But like, so for example, Aaron is probably what, 4 inches shorter than me, 3 inches shorter than me, and I feel like this thing would look monstrous on him. Okay. Now let's jump into some alternatives for the Matador Global Travel Pack. But before that, I just want to let you guys know, if you're new to the channel, you should check out our leaderboard video where the whole team from Nomads Nation goes through and picks their favorite backpacks in every bag category. So if you're looking to just learn more about bags in general, learn more about our internal opinions on bags, we've gone ahead and linked that above. One other thing, if you don't know, Aaron, the founder of Nomads Nation, launched his own backpack brand called Firo. It's a brand specifically geared for professionals and people who love to travel. If you're interested in learning more about Firo, you can check out the link in the description, or you can go to firo.co. But if we're really close with the Matador Global Travel Pack, here's 2 other alternatives that might scratch the itch for you a little bit better. My first alternative is going to be the Rework Outbound. So if you don't know, I took this bag on a trip through Vietnam a few months ago, where me and 5 of my friends rode motorcycles on the Ha Giang Loop. And this bag was a great daily companion. It has good water bottle pockets, a lot of storage, but it comes in at a slightly smaller size of 30 liters versus the Matador's 35 liter size. And my other option is going to be the Osprey Daylite 35 liter. This is a great option if you're looking for something a little more budget oriented. It's very light, very good size, and does exactly what you need it to do at a nicer price point than some of these other more premium travel backpacks out there. All right, and this one comes in at around 130 USD price point, so significantly cheaper than a lot of the travel backpacks out there. Maybe I will also test this one out on my next trip, because I actually have not traveled with this one yet. Realistically, all 3 of these bags will definitely suit your needs if you're looking for like a 1-bag weekend travel backpack. Size difference is pretty negligible between 30 and 35 liter. Realistically, they're all gonna pretty much serve your needs. If you're looking at the budget options, you go for Osprey. If you're looking for something more premium, Rework or Matador would definitely be a good fit for you. Please feel free to leave a comment and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And if you want to learn about the 2 alternatives I picked out for the Matador Global Travel Pack, you can check out the links for those videos right here. Thanks for watching. This is Tony from Nomads Nation. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.